Hi guys, and Jess here. Welcome to Scrappy Sisters Scrap September number 14. So this one is Fav Technique. I had a little trouble deciding what to do for my Fav Technique, but when I had a look back at my videos, it kind of became pretty clear that I guess my Fav Technique is the packaging technique with watercolor paints. So that is what I am doing today on this layout. But I wanted to change it up a little bit or add something else to make this a little bit more special. So I'm cutting up bits of tissue paper into long strips and folding them a little bit like an accordion, but sort of this way and that. I don't want them to be absolutely perfect folds. Some are folded forwards, some are folded backwards, if that makes sense. I straighten it up a little bit by trimming it down because I got a little bit wonky there with my cutting. And then I glue that down. And the way I glue this down is straight onto the white backing paper. I put a strip of glue and then I just place it on top of the glue and that holds it still. So I'm just trimming it down now. As you can see, I did cheat a little bit with this first one because I wasn't 100% sure how it was going to work, and I put double-sided tape on the very first one, but I did not like that because the double-sided tape kept it too flat and I wanted it to be fluffy. So every one after this, I actually do the glue thing that I'm telling you about. So I fold it all up and then I put a strip of glue down onto the white backing paper and then I just lay it straight on top of the white backing paper. And I do that for all the way down the page. And I'm now just using my hands in the photo to plan where I want my packaging technique to go. So I know that I'm going to be using some of my Little You collection because my little man is not so little anymore. He is turning into a big boy. And because he is turning into a big boy, I thought I'd better use up my stash of baby supplies. So I know the Little You collection's colors are kind of a light tealy color, a really light color blue, a little bit of sort of a peach color, and maybe a little bit green, a little bit minty. So I'm just trying to mix up some of those colors to use with the packaging technique. And I've started off with the blue. The blue is a little bit darker than what the Little You collection's blue is, but the photo I'm using is super dark, as you can see there. So I thought that's okay. Something a little bit bright might help to push that photo into your vision. I've already backed the photo with white, so just a thin white strip all the way around the photograph. And so yeah, as I said, just using the packaging technique there to squish straight on top of the tissue paper. Bit of a mess, bit of a splash. That's exactly what I want. Adding, as you saw before now as well, I'm just sort of tipping a little bit of water onto the packaging technique to really get it wet. And just sort of flipping that over so the water will splash down. So I'm happy with how it's looking, which is great. I am just thinking about color choices again. So I'm going in for the green now with my cup of tea there. Speaking of, I have a cup of tea here in my hand as well, so I might have some of that. So now just smushing on some green, again, which ties in with the Little You collection, as I mentioned earlier. I keep this bit nice and long, just like I did with the painting video, because I thought that was what the prompt was, you know, favorite technique. So I thought you'd like to see how I used this favorite technique. So I didn't clean off my plastic before because the dark blue and the dark green were quite similar in tone and were both really dark. But I now want to go to this really light sort of peachy tone. So I did clean off my plastic this time because I really don't want, I want that as clean a color as I can. I really don't want bits of blue and green sticking out in there. So that is finished. So I leave that to dry. It takes a little while because it was quite wet. Obviously I didn't prep my paper because I had the tissue paper there, but I didn't find it warped or anything, which is great. And I've stuck my photo on with pop dots. So it is sticking higher than what it would be if I just stuck it straight down onto the tissue paper. So I'm using as much as I can of the Little You chipboard, the Little You ephemera pack, and the Little You sticker sheet. I've got the works. And I was a hoarder. And when my little man was little, I didn't use it because it was far too precious to use. And now that he's getting too big, I've got heaps left. So I actually smash out after this one 2 other super quick layouts that are nothing to do with Scrapping September, just me trying to use up this collection while I've still got some photos of him being kind of small. And they're all sort of sleep-based photos because it's the only time he looks like my little baby. Now if you see him when he's awake and he's up, he's this boy. He's a toddler. I don't know what happened to my child. But he's super cute. I love him. So yes, I chose to do the heading or the title, Eat, Sleep, Repeat. And I used 3 different types of thickers there, as you can see. But I popped them all up on Pop Dots, and that took me ages. But I really wanted it to have a dimension to it, and I wanted it to go over top of that thick board mountain down in the bottom corner. And I hate it when you put a couple of letters over thick board and then the rest you stick down flat. It just doesn't look right to me. So I had to put it all up on some foam thickers. As you can see, I've got that little tag up the top there that I think it says all you need is sleep, or definitely something about sleep. And I know I desperately want to use it in this layout because obviously that's what the photo is on, little man asleep. So I've got it aside, but I'm just not sure how to fit it in. So I'm playing with other things while my brain is half thinking about that and half playing with other stickers and things. So putting on some tiny word phrases that came on the sticker sheet, just including some gold because I know that there's gold in that tag that I'm holding on to. And now if I'm going to introduce gold, I need some more gold. So I put some gold thread on there, and the tiny words have gold in them as well. Just trying to, I don't want anything to look like it doesn't belong. So just trying to tie everything in together. I really want to use this banner, but if I put it so it's not over top of the cloud, then it's way too far over the tag. So I decided to just cut off that end and slip it underneath the cloud. So you can't really tell that it's been cut off because you just imagine that it's behind the cloud and it would still be there. Not perfect, but better than covering the cloud or covering the tag too much. So I'm happy with that. Then I realized it needed pop dots underneath, so just trying to sneak in underneath. What else can I tell you? You can sort of see what I'm doing. More tiny words. I love my tiny words. When I finish this layout, as I said, I do 2 other layouts, just trying to use up all of the rest of the bits and pieces. And I managed to use everything except for that alphabet sheet, which is pretty cool. So I decided that random raindrop over there just looked wrong. So I've moved it and I've stuck it on the photo with the other 3. But of course now I've got that horrible mark. So now I need to cover that mark. So I just grabbed another sticker cloud and I'm covering that mark there. And just putting some stars around because I now don't want that cloud sticker to look weird and like it's out of place. Ideally, I wouldn't have put that cloud there, but as Inky Quill says, there's nothing you can't fix with an embellishment. So I'm now just looking at the sticker sheet and trying to put down things that are to do with sleep. I don't want to overfill this page and ruin it, but I know it's going to be hard for me to use up what's left of my little U collection. So if there are some sleep-based things, it would be great. Because you can see I've got a lot left. I do manage it though. I know I keep telling you that, but I'm very proud of myself. If you are on, I think it's Tori Bissell's scrapbook page. Might not be. Something about bashing your stash. I shared them on there if you are interested. So just popping everything on. I always found it challenging to use that bottle because my son just wasn't a bottle child. Was not interested in a bottle. No thank you, mum. So we never really used them. So I looked at that bottle and couldn't really relate it to my life. But I put it on anyway. Whatever. What else can I tell you? Just had a big crash, which means little man has dropped something. Uh-oh. I better go and see what he is doing. Sorry about that. Back again now. No disaster. Wasn't a problem. Just a toy. So yes, I'm up to enamel dots. So just popping in those colours again. So just in the minty colour, in the pinky colour, just popping enamel dots around. And I've got a few pearl ones as well, just because I think that colouring looks really lovely with the layout here, the softness of this layout. And I've been sort of hiding the enamel dots almost, especially the super big ones, underneath some things. Not completely underneath because that's just a waste, but I like that they're sort of sneaking out the side of things that have been popped up. I just think that looks really, really cute. So I'm really happy with how this layout is turning out. The lightness of all the embellishments are really helping bring out the darkness of the photo, because I really want to be able to see how gorgeous little man looks fast asleep there with his bunny all tucked up nice and close. The photo is actually taken at my mum and dad's house, so at his grandma and grandpa's house. He sleeps in the hallway at their place, so you actually walk past him to get down to the other bedrooms, and it's quite unusual that I get to see him sleeping, because usually I put him to bed in his room, close the door, and then that's it. So it was super cute to walk past and see him fast asleep there. So here are the close-ups. As you can see, lots of layers, lots of popping up things, lots of chipboard, lots of stickers, so much going on in this layout, lots of texture with the tissue paper in the background, but I just love it. It's worked out so beautifully. I just love how soft all the embellishments look against that harsh dark photo, and I think it just works perfectly. So I hope you guys are enjoying scrapping along with us every day in September. Of course, it is no problem if you are not doing it every day, but please stay tuned for number 15 tomorrow and join Katie. Please like, subscribe, and check us out. I just thought I'd sneak in these last two photos. These are the other layouts that I was talking about, just in case you were interested. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Bye.